We are SpeedDemosArchive.com, your premier source for high-quality speedruns of all your favorite games, and we also have many here from SpeedRunsLive.com, the place to go to for races of games of all shapes and sizes.
Good luck, buddy. You'll need it. Game.
Is Bonnie around?
I'm here later for the blob.
Oh, really?
All right, count me down then. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
One go.
One go.
All right, so this is Kid Icarus. Plays this little guy here named Pit. It's kind of a play on Cupid, and he's a kid, and he's kind of like Icarus. Boom, Kid Icarus. So this first level is pretty straightforward. Taking a lot of hits doesn't really matter. Health becomes much more important later on, though.
A lot of people remember this as the game they could never beat the first couple stages of as a kid. It's really, really brutal, just because it's naturally just a vertical game and with all these precise jumps, and it's really easy to die, especially starting around 1, 2, where ice is introduced and you can just go flying off without ever expecting to. And these repeats are always a childhood favorite. 1 down.
1 down. All right, you want to explain the
Yeah,
hearts
sure.
and stuff?
So starting 1, 2 in a speedrun route, you have to start making use of what the game calls the strength system. The way it works is, in several stages, there's a door in which Zeus appears. And by the time you get to him, you need to accumulate 10,000 points. This is the first level where a Zeus door is, well, there's technically 1 and 1, 1, but you can't make use of that on your first loop through the game. Basically, the way you can get points, the best way to get points is by killing enemies and collecting their precious, precious hearts. The ones, when you see Jorf killing these smaller enemies, they'll be dropping small hearts. There's some which drop medium, kind of half hearts, and there's some which drop the big hearts. Those are worth 100, 300, and 500 points respectively, and killing the enemies as well is worth that equal amount that their heart is worth. By the time you get to Zeus, you need 10,000 points. In this stage, he's at the very end of the level, so you do have time, But naturally, in a speedrun, you want to try and optimize it as much as possible, and Jorf's doing a great job on that. Like those lines of 4, you really want to try and shoot down as quickly as possible, and preferably in the same exact position, so you can just collect all their stuff with one solid jump. We got a weird elevator here.
Yeah.
The game is actually kind of glitchy in a way, and it'll do things that, like, no matter how many times you play the game, it'll do things you've never ever seen before. Those little ice platforms there are the ones that I was talking about before. It's kind of funny, because while you're standing on them, you're walking around on them, it doesn't feel too weird until you try. And then there's Zeus. He's apostrophe glad to see us.
Apostrophe glad.
But yeah, the ice in this game is funny, because when you jump off it, you basically can't change your jump after you jump off of it.
This guy's fake, don't worry about him.
Just stuck right under him, yeah. In a speedrun, it actually kind of, in a way, well, sort of gets easier as you go on, just in terms of health usage. And the reason for that is, while there's that separate strength system we talked about, and the idea of strength is that you start with 1 strength, and each of those upgrades Zeus gives you makes your arrows do twice as much damage. So Jorf just got this, he just got upgraded to 2 strength, so now his arrows do 2 instead of 1. And later on in the game, he'll be getting in 2-1. He'll be getting the 3rd strength or the 2nd strength upgrade to go to 3 strength. It can go up to 5.
5. All right, so I don't know what's going on in this world, but there's a bunch of birthday candles. So if it's anybody's birthday out there, these are for you.
One of the reasons World 1 is so hard is just because you are so limited on health. The way you upgrade your health in this game is you have to, again, kill a bunch of enemies, and every certain amount of points, you'll get another kind of health increase. Like right now, he's got 7 health max, and once he gets to the next level, which should be around maybe early World 2 in a speedrun, he'll double that size, and he'll be up to 15 health. But in World 1, the way you increase your health is 2 ways, really, mainly. By either collecting these chalices littered throughout the level, or dying and refreshing your health that way. Dying is sometimes a good option, but in World 1, you really don't want to try not to death abuse until 1-4 if it's needed. And there's no health refresh between 1-2 and 2-1. So in a perfect world, you're navigating these really, really hard stages, trying to dodge as much as possible. And a lot of these enemies in the early stages deal between 1 and 2 damage. So that can potentially only be like 4 hits until you're dead. Gotta love that Reaper sound.
Yeah.
There's a big sequence right coming up in this level that he's going to try. It might take him several tries to get it, but you have to kind of glitch into a corner and then jump while in the corner. He's going to death abuse because he's low on health.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable. Half health. I'm finished, though.
Yeah, you also need health to do the boss at the end of this stage. Like, you need at least 1 health to do it, like, any quickly at all.
So here it is. Cross your finger. Ah, so close.
There it
Nice.
is.
I was still faster than going the normal
Yeah.
way.
Way
This saves
faster.
like 40 seconds or something.
At least.
Every 4th stage of every world is this gigantic maze of a fortress. And so typically in a normal route, you'd have to navigate around. So here's the first boss. Nice.
Wow.
That was very careless.
Yeah.
But so what you saw him do there is it's called crouch canceling. If he was just to mash B as fast as he could, the arrows would come out very slow. But crouching,
Yeah, but this fast.
yeah, that fast, and crouching refreshes it entirely. So you can technically shoot an arrow every third frame because the inputs would be, button down, button down, button down. And so you can just really spam arrows that way. The only limiting factor is that you can only have 2 arrows on screen. So you want to try and be close. So here's the other level where he's going for strength upgrades. These rocks do, I think, 3 damage. So they would more than pulverize him if they landed on him. He's got 1 health left, and it's a very difficult stage. So he's just got to try and get to the chalice in the midpoint or so. And these, enemies in this game are really, really hard to predict. Like those dudes coming out of the bottom, they could just...
Wow. Oh my God.
Or the rocks. Stuff comes from above, stuff comes from the bottom, stuff comes from the sides.
Yeah, there are packs of enemies where they have their general area where they appear. Yeah. Nice. But you can never predict their exact pattern. It's different every time.
So a lot of these kills he's doing, and this game needs a lot of improvisation because, like we were saying, it's not just about surviving. It's also about trying to kill these enemies as precisely as possible, and on these score stages, so that you can move through the stages quickly while still getting their hearts and killing them, so that you can have enough for Zeus, who's waiting for you at the end. That was a good time to stop commentary. That little ditty was perfect. So yeah, that's pretty much that.
You might have noticed he jumped into the lava without taking damage. The lava and the overworld bushes that look like they can do damage. They're on a global timer, I think.
Yeah, 32 frames.
Yeah, so they only do damage when the global timer passes.
So that's 2-1. 2-2 is a really interesting stage. Jorf discovered that you can actually wrap around to the other side of the level, so it looks kind of funky, and here you go.
Easy trick, try it at home.
So you got to be as close to the side of the screen as you can, a little far off as Jorf is here, so you can A, see what's coming, and B, be able to shoot the enemies that come from the side of the screen easily.
Yeah, this level's just a bunch of concentration and memorization.
The reason for this isn't just because it's hilarious. It's actually, it's mostly to make the platforms that appear throughout the rest of the level.
Yeah, along with these guys, they won't be able to hit me over here.
Yeah, since he's so far right, that guy won't be able to touch him. One interesting thing about this game that we actually just found, a few months ago, but recently in terms of the Kid Icarus timeline, is that these groups of 4 enemies share the same RAM addresses as the platforms. So you can see here there's one dude left. At some point in these platforms, he'll despawn so that he can make room in the memory for one of the platforms. What the consequence of that is that you can see he's kind of bobbing up and down. You can see he disappeared there. You can see the enemy was bobbing up and down in the air. When his appropriate platform appears, that platform is going to remember his speed that the enemy last left with. So while the platform always spawns at the same position, if the enemy was last going down when the platform appears, the platform is going to go down for a little bit before going up. And if the enemy was going up, the platform will be straight going up. And the same is true for when a platform replaces another platform. For example, that last platform we saw on the stage went down for a little bit before going up. And that's because it's the RAM address of the thing it replaced was most recently going down. 2-3 is one hard stage, because you're very limited on health. You're very limited on health.
Thanks.
You're very limited on health, so you want to try and start with a full bar. And even then, throughout the whole stage, it's going to be very precise. So Jorf again does another screen wrap here for the purposes of the platforms coming up. And these platform jumps are a lot more precise than what we saw in the previous level 2 too. And he's got to make 3 very precise jumps. First of which is right. Nice, you're good. Nice. There are going to be 2 coming up as well, which just add to the difficulty of the stage, in addition to all the enemies that are just trying to get you. He does very precise jumps through that lava again, because if he just wadded through it, then he would be taking damage every 32 frames. So it's kind of a luck thing, just in terms of that you're jumping through it as much as you can, and sometimes when you land in it, it'll hit you because you're on that 32 frame interval, and sometimes it won't. So this part is like 2-2 in that you're trying to be as far to the right of the screen as possible to dodge those flying watermelons, as Jorf calls them, coming at you. And this is really the hardest part of the stage, because it's 2 of those jumps in succession.
No.
Okay, fair enough. So Jorf is going to do another screen wrap, which he found the positioning for that one as well. But yeah, those are extremely difficult, and worse yet, those really are affected by those flying watermelons flying around. Because if there can be a worst case scenario where the enemy is flying up when the platform appears, and so the platform immediately spawns just going straight up, and you just can't make it. Those banditos that are appearing as from before, there's a lot of stuff in this game which you actually never see in the speedruns, such as power-up rooms where you can survive harsh training and collect a sweet reward. And if you do that, it's this pretty cool upgrade usually. And you can go through the rest of the game, and it's kind of one of the nicer ways where the game gives you something to try and make up for its extreme difficulty playing through. Really nice. That was a really good 2-3, so that's that. And one of those bandits which you saw earlier, if they touch you, then they'll just take the item away from you instantly. You can't do anything about it. And they just kind of jump erratically around, so yeah. So Jorf actually needs a lot of health for this stage, potentially, because he's going to be doing another trick he found, and which actually isn't in the latest implementation of the task, in which he does this very interesting zip. It's related to the wall wraps. Ooh. He went for a quickie there. It doesn't save as much time as the one you're about to see. But this one, similar to in 1-4, this stage is even bigger than 1-4. And if you can do this wrap successfully, then you basically skip maybe like 2/3 of the level. I think it saves maybe 50 or so seconds real time. Nice.
Yeah,
That's it.
Man.
This boss is honestly one of my favorite bosses in an NES game. And the reason for that is he has a very deterministic pattern, but he's still extremely difficult, because you need to spam arrows like you did on 1-4, but he's jumping up and down in that deterministic pattern. So you need to be crouch canceling in the air like crazy. And you know exactly where he's going to be, but it's still extremely difficult, because you're jumping and you're just hitting B down, B down, B down, B down. It's really hard. Also, he's got an extremely satisfying damage sound. Nice.
I'm dead. I'm actually dead. Oh, I was afraid of that.
So what is being attempted there is the health glitch. You've seen it go wrong, and then you'll see it go right. But the idea is that if you finish a stage with zero with 0 health, then you'll actually go to 0 HP. Rather than, obviously, if you usually did that, then you just die. So the idea there is that you have a brief window in which, after you kill the boss, you can step in his lava, which finishes you. The game still thinks you've finished, but you're scrolling down off the screen, and as long as the level actually finishes, like you killed the boss, but as long as the level actually finishes while you're scrolling down, then you'll continue on to 3-1 with 0 health. And then you can actually, the benefit of that is that it's kind of a free health refill, because if you take damage at anything where there's that 32 frame interval, such as lava, or such as these like weird jellyfish squid type things that you'll see in the next stage, then it'll refill your health from 0 back to full. The dangerous thing, of course, is that if you take damage from something not on that 32 frame interval, even if it only does 1 health, then it'll kill you, like anything else would. So you have to navigate the early parts of 3-1 with a lot of precision, or else you'll die. And there are a lot of snakes and a lot of flying loopy things, I think they're called Collins, that will just want to obliterate you.
Too late. Oh well.
So yeah, this is just 1 health instead of 0, but that's fine. We've got backup strats.
Backup strats.
So that is also a very successful way of refilling your health. Clouds were very delicately placed there, just for Pit. So in terms of speedrun routing, we have been trying to figure out whether the 3 strength, which we've currently been using, or getting a 4th bit of strength in this stage would be beneficial. 3 strength is definitely, it's honestly, it's really, really close. And it's almost up to player preference. 3 strength for sure is a lot more marathon safe. And just not only because getting the strength in this state, those are the flying jellyfish squids, by the way. Not only because getting the strength upgrade in this level is extremely difficult, but also just because Pandora later on is extremely difficult, and it kind of has a difference there. The idea of this game is that you're, like Jorf said, you're this kid angel Pit who's going up to navigating basically Angel Land, I think it's called. He went through the World 1, which was the Underworld, World 2, which was the Overworld? Yeah, Overworld. Yeah. And then World 3 here, which is the Sky World. And he wants to... Ooh, dang. He wants to hunt down and kill Medusa, who captured the good goddess Palutena. So yeah, those little flying jellyfish things, like I said, are on the 32 frame timer. So sometimes you'll just unexpectedly, or you'll sometimes take damage from them, sometimes you won't.
The game gets really mean at this point with like Reapers on 1-tile platforms and like Reapets spawning everywhere.
You're going to be seeing a very familiar enemy coming up in a moment here.
Oh no, I'm a weakling.
You weakling! There they are. Kid Icarus only. You'll never see Metroid type. Enemies like that anyway. This is actually developed by the same designer and group, I think, as Metroid was. So actually, I think it's the exact same game engine.
Yeah, it is.
Angry, angry octopi.
They're so angry. Oh, they're so fast.
They left their families behind. Nice, so that was 3-2. 3-3 has a very interesting application of that kind of enemy and platform sharing the same RAM address thing. Those, another death abuse. Those 4 Metroids, because it's a group of 4, this is another cycle. The beginning part of this level is a very cycle-based section. And so he's manipulating those guys. Nice. Since they both died when he went to the right, that first elevator isn't exactly the position he wanted, and so is this one. So he was able to make that jump without waiting for the cycle. So it all, like, you kind of have to kill enemies in such a way where the platforms are beneficial to you.
If you're questioning why he's dying at the beginning of like every stage, trying to actually go through these stages as fast as possible without getting hit is like incredibly hard.
Yeah.
So generally it's faster to kill yourself rather than like try and skirt around a bunch of enemies throughout the stage.
Yeah. There is one more way of refilling your health I forgot to mention. There are these, I mean, you've been seeing throughout the game all these little side rooms which are useless. One which Zeus appeared, one which Jorf got called a weakling. There are shops. There are these ones where like there are a million pots and you just have to kind of guess which one has an item you want, or you have to do them in order to get the item at the end of the sequence of thingies. And in some of the rooms there are these yellow health pools which refill your health extremely. That's some lag right there.
Oh yeah, it's the lag bomb.
There are some rooms which fill your health extremely slowly. I think it's that same 32 frame thing, like 1 health every 32 frames. And so it's better to just die. Eggplant. So Jorf's going for, this is probably, along with 2-3, this is probably the hardest stage in the game. It's just very, very long and difficult, and then the boss at the end is extremely random. So you really just want to come in with full health, or the 2 bars of health that dying gives you. These eggplant wizards are definitely another childhood favorite. If you get hit by them, as Jorf did purposely a minute ago, then they turn you into an eggplant. And the only way to get out of that eggplant mode is to find a nurse somewhere in this gigantic stage, which is, especially in this stage, extremely out of the way of the speedrun route. So rather than that, you just want to not become eggplant. All these rooms with the 8 spawning enemies are extremely difficult because there's no real way to predict where they'll be. So sometimes, and the red ones, the red like spinning deals there do 3 damage. The blue ones do 2. And like I said before, Jorf only has 15 health to go off of, and Pandora I think does 5. So it's really difficult if you go in with a low amount of health. He has been saving his hearts. The hearts, which you're feasting on by killing enemies, not only give you that strength upgrade when you go into Zeus's room, but it's also actually the form of currency of the game. The form of currency of the game. And you have to, I think when you play this through normal, you just have to farm, not only for currency, but also for strength and for points to increase your health bar. And so we've leveled out this, or we've routed out the hearts route so that you can definitely get that. Nice! You got the zip!
Yeah. Gave him a surprise.
And
Yeah,
here's
all right.
Pandora.
So here's Pandora. He's like one of those DVD player logos that just bounces around the screen randomly. You never know where he's going. It was
that?
health.
Oh yeah, health.
Yeah.
Every single piece on screen just moves erratically, and you can't predict it. You just have to make use of what he gives you and hope for the best. Like, you really faked out Jorf real good there by just doing a total 180. And one more hit will kill him. So you just have to, like, you really just have to hope for the best.
Yeah, and if he goes in the top right like that, there's no way
Yeah.
you can hit him. He's just up there.
Yeah, this is one of the most brutal bosses in a speedrun I know, period.
Nice. That's it. Let's. And he got the little clone there as well.
Yeah. All right, we're home free now.
Yeah.
So this last stage is an auto-scroller, and it loops infinitely unless you kill 50 enemies, which isn't a problem.
Fun note that in the Japanese version, this stage is actually not an auto-scroller. You actually move freely through the level. I don't really know why they changed it for the American version, but yeah.
One difficult part about this is that these enemies, the groups of 4, will respawn as soon as you kill them all and collect their hearts. So you have to try, and while 50 is a pretty safe number, you have to try and kill them so that you can collect their hearts immediately after. And you can only go so high on the screen, so if an enemy is too high when you kill it, you just have to wait for the heart to either despawn or fly off screen. It is a lot more difficult if you come in with less strength. I don't know how much health these enemies have, but right now Jorf's got 3 strength, so he's one-shotting everything except for those green statue things, which we don't want to see again. But I mean, I think he's probably already there even, so.
Yeah, there's the purple floor. Means we know we're there.
And here's the final boss, Medusa, which Pit has strived to defeat.
Hardest one yet?
Yeah. Not even using his left hand.
Not even looking.
Yeah, no, well, it'll be time when he goes off screen. Okay.
NES bosses.
Yeah, so after 3 really difficult bosses, this is what Medusa has in store for us. And it'll be in a minute. You got it.
Time.
That's it, time.
30:49.
All right.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Pit.
Thank you.
So yeah, as a tribute to your hard adventure, Palutena is really thankful, and so she gives you a farmer's hat and sickle.
On the Japanese version, the worst ending, she actually turns you into one of the enemies. That's what you get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the enemies depend on certain like statistic factors that are tracked by the game, like the number of hearts you have and whether you got all 3 special weapons. And depending on how many of those you've fulfilled, you get like a better transformation by Palutena. You can become like a super strong warrior and like get to kiss her or something, or she kisses you if you get like the best ending. I don't remember.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, good job, man.
Stuff.
Yeah, so I think we're all set, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well done,
Love
Jordan.
the streamers.
Streamers.
Cheers.
All right, important announcement to make. The website, gamesdonequick.com, will come back up gradually around the world as the site's URL is broadcast. DNS entry